Hello, Kurt Jackson, Retirement Income Strategies with KJ Financial in Liberty, Missouri here. Hey, congratulations on taking the first step towards making sure your retirement is all that you want it to be. You know, the challenge for us today is going to be to make sure that you leave with at least two things you didn't know before and that you found value in what you hear today. If that happened, wouldn't you think spending time with us was worthwhile? All right, great. Hey, please realize that this video is designed to give is not designed. It's not designed to give you specific financial, tax, or legal advice. What we're doing here today is helping you to try to identify some potential threats to your retirement and open your eyes to some potential ways to overcome those threats. Is that all right with you? Great. Look, everyone has their version of the ideal retirement, so it'd be impossible to guess what yours is. But hey, I can tell you with 100% certainty that there are two things that you're absolutely going to need to make sure that you have the ideal retirement that you envision. One is you need to be healthy enough to do it. And two is you need enough money to fund all the things that you want, that you need to live in retirement and want to do in retirement. I know, nothing earth shattering there, but stay with me because I promise it'll get better. Look, since I'm a financial guy, I'm not going to go into the health aspect other than to say that what we do for people typically will help relieve, if not eliminate, financial stress, which probably will help improve their health, right? Okay. Now, that also means that we're going to focus on the part you probably dread the most about retirement, and that's money. We probably already know that the three most important things about real estate are location, location, location. Well, other than health, do you know what the three most important parts of your retirement are? Look, I'm going to give you a hint. It's not money, money, money. It's close because it's in the money family. See, the most important aspect of other than health are retirement, okay? And those three things are income, income, income. But more specifically, all right, it's net spendable income. Now, at the end of the day, do you want the biggest gross income or do you want the most net spendable income? Think about your current work paycheck. Is the amount deposited into your bank account your gross pay or your net income? Don't they take out money for things like maybe retirement, insurance, and then there's your taxes? What's the biggest part taken out of your check? Your check? Taxes, right? Yeah. In retirement, is it enough to just focus on net spendable income? What happens to the cost of living each year as each year goes by? Doesn't it go up? What do we call that? Don't we call that inflation? All right. So wouldn't we want our net spendable income to be a net spendable income that goes up each year? All right, so our first income is net spendable income. Our second income is an ever increasing net spendable income. Well, what's our third income then? Need a hint? Come on now. How long do you want that ever increasing net spendable income to last? Wouldn't you want it for the rest of your life? So, should we be focusing on how much money you've put away? Or should we be focusing on how much lifelong, ever increasing net spendable income your money will create? Right? What's the focus of your current retirement plan? I'd wager that it's designed to put as much money away as you can. Does that sound about right? Now, are you certain trying to create and put away as the most money you can will also give you the most lifelong, ever increasing net spendable income? Or is that something that you really haven't addressed with your advisor? Is that something that you're assuming will happen? We begin this video talking about income because one of the biggest fears we have is running out of money in retirement. If experiences with more than 1,000 clients and subsequent research about traditional retirement planning has proven anything, running out of money is something that we all should be very aware of. And actually, if you're following traditional retirement planning, it's something that you should be very afraid of. Look, you have to look no further than a 2013 study done by a huge global bank, HSBC. It revealed the average retirement in the United States is lasting about 21 years. And on average, we're running out of money in year 14. Stop and think about that for a minute. Doesn't that mean that on average, we're spending a third of our retirement years out of money except our Social Security income? Is that how you want to live your retirement? So, those findings help validate some data from the Social Security Administration, which found as many as 96% of Americans are at risk of running out of money from their portfolio before they die. Does that sound like traditional retirement planning is working? So when you think about your retirement, are you willing to reduce your lifestyle? Are you wanting to have to work longer? Do you want to have to work in retirement? Do you want to have to live your retirement years constantly worrying about running out of money? Hey, can I go out on a limb here and assume you'd answer a resounding no to all those questions? Have you ever thought about whether where you put your money might impact how much net spendable income you can create? Look, if you're like an overwhelming majority of people, you haven't given this a second thought. Well, maybe at least until today. Most people are putting a majority of their money in company retirement plans, such as a 401k, 403b, and 457 plans. You might have a pension. If not in these, then you're putting it in an IRA. That's typically the retirement tool of choice, right? See, these are pushed by about everyone. I mean, it sure sounds good, right? You put in before tax dollars, which means more money goes in and you get to defer, which is basically put off paying taxes until when? When you're in retirement, right? What do they tell you is going to happen in retirement? Oh, yeah, you'll be in a lower tax bracket. Have you ever thought about whether that will happen or not? Have you ever run the numbers? Have you ever really thought about what will need to happen for your taxes to be lower in the future? Probably not. Well, good thing for you, I have. Quite frankly, I've only been able to come up with two. Do you know what they are? One is lower tax rates in the future. Do you think that's going to happen? I mean, with the way the government spends and prints money, do you think tax rates are going to be higher or lower in the future? Probably higher, right? And if you think they're going to be lower in the future, look, I've got some pristine oceanfront property in Liberty, Missouri that I'll sell you. All right, I don't. In case the regulators are monitoring this, I was exaggerating for effect. Please don't hold that against me. Do you know what the second one is? Make less money. Kind of obvious, isn't it? If you make less money, what's that mean to you? What's that do to your net spendable income? It's probably less, isn't it? And I know the argument you're going to be spending less in retirement is because you won't be saving for retirement anymore. Well, what's the other reason? Well, you're supposed to have less debt, right? Namely, no mortgage payment. Now, on the surface, that makes sense, doesn't it? But when we look at the reality of the situation, do you think you might spend more money on things in retirement that you don't spend money on now? Before you answer that, let me go a little deeper. When you are working, what day of the week do you spend the most money? For most of us, that day is Saturday. Now, why would Saturday be the day of the week we spend the most money? Well, most of us are off work on Saturday, so we have more time to do more things, right? When you retire, what's every day going to be like? Well, unless you choose to work or have to work because you don't have enough what? Income. So every day in retirement's like Saturday. Say you were making 50 grand a year when you were working. Typically, what percentage of income were you putting away in retirement? Well, let's just say 10%. That's 5 grand a year or about $417 a month. How much does the government take out for Social Security, Medicare that they won't be taking out anymore? Let's go a little high and say another 10%. So that would mean $834 a month that you won't be spending anymore that you were working. So were they right when they said you'd be spending less in retirement? Well, I don't know. How easy would it be to spend an additional $834 a month if you have 28 to 31 Saturdays every month? What else are you likely to do in retirement that you didn't do much of when you worked? Would you travel? Would you go see the grandkids more? Would you go south for the winter? How many new activities would you add to your month? Won't most all those things cost money? How easy would it be to spend another $834 a month in this example? All right, the other reduction in spending should be your mortgage, right? Well, that could be another $500 to $1,000 or more, right? Well, don't forget you still have property taxes, homeowners insurance, and you've got maintenance. So your entire mortgage payment doesn't go away. What else do you think might cost more as you age? How about healthcare? Do you think you would use healthcare more or less as you age? Do you know how much of your health care costs Medicare is designed to cover? Would it surprise you to know it's less than 60%? I know, it's a shocker. Well, here comes another shocker for you. Do you know that studies estimate at the out-of-pocket cost of healthcare to be for a married couple that's age 65 today is approximately 220 grand. That's a big number. Guess what that number doesn't include? If either of you or both of you needed long-term care. Should you be concerned with the possibility of needing specialized care in home, in an assisted living facility, or a nursing home? You know, studies suggest that if you reach age 65, there's a 70% chance you're going to need some form of specialized care. All right. So if you do go into retirement without your mortgage payment, do you think your spending will go down? Well, doesn't 220 grand in out-of-pocket healthcare costs sound a lot like a mortgage payment in retirement? But there's one more reason your spending is guaranteed to go up. You know what that is? We touched on it before. Inflation. You know, if we assume that you're living on 50 grand a year the day you begin retirement, if we assume inflation is just 4%, did you know that in 18 years you're going to need twice the money just to maintain your lifestyle? That means your 50 grand would need to be 100 grand. Now, do you just wake up one day 18 years from now and start spending 100? No. You spend more each year. For example, in year one, you'd spend 50. In year two, you'd spend 52. With that 4% jump. Then in year three, you'd spend 54,080, right? And it goes on. I understand that tax brackets tend to adjust up with inflation, but whose inflation rate do they use? Your inflation rate or the government's inflation rate? The government's, right? Do you think their rate is higher or lower than yours? Would it surprise you to know that the government's inflation number does not include food, energy, and healthcare costs? Where do you think your spending would grow the most? Maybe food, energy, and healthcare? Okay. So the two ways you can be in a lower tax bracket in retirement are if tax rates are lower or if you make less money. Look, I think we all agree that tax rates aren't going to be lower. So after that brief description of what you're likely looking at in retirement, if in fact your income is lower, what does that mean for your retirement? Some type of reduction in lifestyle, doesn't it? Are you certain your current plan will give you enough lifelong, ever increasing net spendable income, or will taxes be more than you thought? If taxes are higher than you thought, what does that do to your net spendable income? It reduces it, right? Be honest with me. Doesn't it sound a lot like retirement's a very complex issue? Doesn't it have a lot of moving parts? Would it surprise you to know that we've only scratched the surface of the things that will challenge you to create the highest lifelong, ever increasing net spendable income? Look, in order to keep this video at a manageable length, I'm only going to go give you the other quick challenges, a cursory look. If you'd like to find out more detailed information, you can navigate around our site and my blog to find more detailed information. But I'm also going to discuss them with you in person if you wish. Fair enough? All right. Some of the other challenges to your retirement include market volatility. When the market drops, it can destroy your retirement. Account fees are guaranteed losses every year, and they're typically higher than what you think they are. You know, the method traditional financial advisors use to create income retirement are typically as much as 50% lower than other income options that are designed to protect your money from losses and can offer lifelong income, even lifelong income that will grow every year. Traditional financial advisors use a model that typically reduces your only source of guaranteed income for life that grows with inflation by up to 76% or more. Keep in mind there are other non-traditional ways to create additional income that works along the same lines as Social Security income. It's just that traditional financial planning doesn't typically use it. Traditional financial planning also uses strategies that typically make you pay higher taxes and even create unnecessary taxes, which, as we talked about before, will reduce your net spendable income. Traditional financial planning also doesn't typically make your income a lifelong income. They typically only give you a good chance you won't outlive your income. All right, here's where the rubber meets the road. I realize I haven't proven my assertions here, but if what I'm saying is in fact true, do you think what you are doing, no matter what your traditional advisor has been telling you, do you think what you're doing now is going to give you the highest lifelong, ever increasing net spendable income in retirement? Are you 100% certain what you're doing will give you enough income to do all the things you want to do in retirement, or are you having some concerns? Really, if you aren't having concerns, you aren't already working with me, or you're kidding yourself, or you have millions and millions of dollars and that you're never afraid of losing. Look, I realize that there's no way to create enough trust for you to believe all these things. So here's what I'm going to do. We have a proprietary software system called Retirement Analyzer that's at the heart of our Retirement Explorer program. We take a detailed look at what you're doing right now, and then we use some different variables like estimated inflation rates, estimated investment returns, estimated tax rates, estimated healthcare costs, estimated long-term care costs, as well as a comprehensive analysis of your spending now and what we think it'll be in retirement. Once we've gathered all this important information, we put it into our Retirement Analyzer software to see how well your current retirement plan will work for you. Our software will identify your red line number, and that's the age and month that you're likely to run out of money in your current plan. If you decide that your red line number happens too soon, we'll review the traditional red line solutions like saving more, getting a second job, working longer, working in retirement, reducing your lifestyle. You know, the things everyone always suggests, but quite frankly aren't very fun or appealing to do. If those adjustments don't move your red line number out far enough, or you'd like to explore other options, then we'll be happy to put together some solutions for you. In an effort to gain your trust, we're going to do this with no cost and no obligation. If you like our solutions and decide you want us to help you implement them, the companies that provide the financial products we use will pay us. That means you don't have any out-of-pocket cost to work with us. And we've also found that the way we utilize these different financial products, you end up paying a lot less in fees than most of the traditional financial plans would charge you. One other huge advantage to our retirement system, analyzer system, is when we do reviews with you each year, or whenever you have a significant life event, we're able to make sure your plan is still on track. And if we find that it's gotten off track, we will then work together to make in-flight adjustments. So you're always going to be confident your plan for retirement is on track to give you what you want. How good would that feel? How much financial stress would that help you relieve? If you were to find out your retirement plan wasn't going to work, would it be better to find out now or when you're in retirement? Well, let's find out now, right? It's easy to do, but you need to do it now because the sooner you know there's a problem, the sooner you can correct it. So pick up the phone, call us the number, or email us the contact information on the screen, and request our no cost, no obligation offer to let us run you through our retirement analyzer system. Let's see where your red line number is. Hey, thanks for stopping by. I hope you can create the retirement that you've always wanted.